Hey guys, today I have swatches of the China Glaze, what I believe is Spring 2020 collection. This is the Trolls World Tour collection, which, am I losing my mind? Or was there an OPI Muppets World Tour collection? I keep thinking I'm saying the name wrong, but it's actually right on the caps. So I'm reading it, it's Trolls World Tour. It just sounds way too familiar. So I found these on 88beauty.com. There are 8 polishes here altogether, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Darlin, and this is a light peachy cream. This one has pretty decent pigment for being a lighter shade, but it is pretty streaky. I did need 3 coats for this when I did my swatch photos, and it was pretty finicky even on that 3rd coat. The formula on this is pretty thin. Now when I say that, I want you to keep in mind that I do prefer thicker formulas, but this is thin enough that I do have kind of a hard time controlling it. So I don't know how well it's going to pick up on camera, but those streaks that were there on the 1st coat did become more apparent after it dried. So I will definitely need a 3rd coat here. So again, it is hard to tell through the viewfinder how well this is picking up on camera, but this polish definitely needs a 3rd coat. I do still have some streaks. I'm being very, very careful with that 3rd coat. One thing that I noticed when I was doing my swatch photos is that it was very easy for me to pull polish from the previous coats off with the 3rd coat and create darker spots, uneven spots, streaks where there weren't already. So I'm going really, really light and not using pressure really at all on this 3rd coat to make sure that I don't create any streaks. So that is 3 coats of Darlin. The next polish is called It's All Techno, and this is a yellowy green cream. So this one is pretty sheer and streaky on that 1st coat. All of the issues that I had with the last polish, I also had with this one. The formula is thin, and it's kind of hard to control. So the color does start to build up a bit on this one. It gets brighter because it is a little bit more opaque, but there are still some streaks, and that's going to dry with more streaks than it's showing right now as well. This one, I can't really tell if it's supposed to be jelly-ish or if it's just a not good cream. Okay, so this one does cover completely on the 3rd coat if you're very careful. I know you can see the streaks from the 2nd coat because they're showing up even on the viewfinder. I'm doing the same thing I did with the last one. I'm very, very lightly putting that 3rd coat on because I don't want to create any extra streaks, which I don't really understand how that happens in the first place, because like if the coat is dry, you shouldn't be able to, I don't know, whatever. Still a little streaky on my ring finger. I'm not counting the big ridge on this side of my ring or pinky finger, but I do have some on this side where there isn't a giant ridge. I really don't mind 3 coats. I know some people get like really offended at the idea of 3 coats. I don't mind it, but when I have to struggle through those 3 coats and still I'm not like guaranteed to get 100% coverage, the streaks that I have are really minor, but they're there after 3 coats, which for me is like, no. So that is 3 coats of It's All Techno. The next polish is called Chill In Symphonyville. This is a lighter, kind of dusty blue with a blue shimmer, and it has that shimmer in it that's kind of like those 2 from the Essie Spring collection where the shimmer is like bigger particles. It's not quite that big, but it's along those same lines. So this one is pretty much just shimmer on that 1st coat. There's the tiniest bit of color from that base, but there's not a lot. This also dries matte. It's not the kind of polish that dries super fast matte. It's not the kind of matte polish that dries super, super fast, so you have to be scared of taking your time when you work with it. So that's not an issue. The formula on this is actually pretty good. It looks absolutely terrible because of how sheer it is right here, and while there was still some nail line left after I did 3 coats, like you're going to be surprised to see how well it does build up. That 1st coat has fully dried. You can see that it dried matte. The 2nd coat here is starting to build up some color. Even though it is sheer, which is a little annoying, it is fairly even. I mean, I messed up over here, but for the most part, it's pretty even. And I do have photos of this with and without top coat. I'm getting a lot of polish on my nails though. I'm trying to swipe some of that off and put it back in the bottle. So this one actually does build up pretty well on that 3rd coat. I was not expecting this when I did my swatch photos. I can still see some nail line, and I do still have some uneven spots. They're very minor, but they are there. So that is 3 coats of Chill in Symphonyville. This next polish is called Can't Stop Branchin, and this is a turquoise cream. So this polish dries semi-matte. It's not a full-blown matte polish, but it does have a kind of rubberized finish to it when it's fully dry. It is pretty decently opaque on that first coat. Formula on this one is good also. I did do 3 coats for my swatch photo, I think. I remember bumping a nail and then debating on whether it would be easier to do a 3rd coat or to just like do 2 coats over again on that nail, and I think I opted for a 3rd coat, but overall I didn't actually need it. So you can see that slightly rubberized finish that this dried with. I think I'm using the side of the wide brush right now. That's not working well. I do have swatches of this with and without top coat, and you can see it does cover completely in 2 coats as well. So that is 2 coats of Can't Stop Branching. So the next polish is called Funky Beat, and this is a brighter purple. My bottle has a lot of unmixed pigment kind of stuck to the sides of the bottle. It's mostly behind these letters, so it's not super easy to see. That's probably the clearest one right there. But I didn't have any of that come out on my nails, just the bottle doesn't look fantastic. So this one is a little bit sheer on that first coat. It's a little bit jellyish. I wouldn't say it's like a full-blown jelly polish, but it's definitely leaning pretty hard in that direction. And good formula on this one. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. You can see that color gets a bit deeper. This one, I don't think it's intentionally drying dull. Like, it's not meant to be a feature of the polish, like the matte and like the semi-matte polish that I've already swatched, but it does dry a little bit dull. So that is 2 coats of Funky Beat. So the next polish is called No Holds Barb, and this is a, I think it's a red. My initial thought looking at it is a red, but it does seem to have a lot of pink to it as well. It's right on the fence. So this is a jelly. It's pretty pigmented, but sheer. I can still see most of my nail line. It does also cover fairly evenly, and it has that very squishy look to it, and good formula on this one as well. Okay, so this does start to build up on that second coat. It's a jelly. It's going to be sheer. I can still fully see my nail line through there, so I'm going to do a 3rd coat. And because it is a jelly, it dries very shiny. So the 3rd coat here does help to cover that nail line a little bit more, but it is still visible, and my nails are pretty short as well. So if I can still see it on my nails, it would be really obvious on longer nails. So that is 3 coats of No Holds Barb. So the next polish is called Pink in Poppy, and I'm really excited about this. This is a finish that I don't think I've ever seen before, which doesn't happen often because I use a lot of polishes. I go through a lot of polishes making these videos, so it's hard for something to really stand out to me as unique. This is a pink base. It's packed with pink shimmer, and then it has these really, really fine, darker pink micro glitters running throughout it. It's kind of similar to some of the toppers that China Glaze has done in the past, where they have a very slightly tinted base, some shimmer, and some glitter, but this is an opaque version. It's a really cool look on the nails. So this is a little sheer on that first coat, but you can see once you get swiping it on, there's a ton of shimmer and that really fine, darker glitter that's in there. I was trying to send pictures of this to my friends, and it was not photographing well. I haven't actually looked at my swatch photo yet, but I feel like it's not going to do it justice. Really good formula on this one. There is a very, very, very slight texture to that really fine glitter that's in there when the polish is fully dry, but it's really, really minor, and you should use top coat anyway. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. You might end up needing 3 depending on the thickness of your coats, how white your nail line is, how long your nails are. Mine are very short right now, so things are looking more opaque with fewer coats on my current nail length. I'm just really excited to see a polish that I really can't think of a dupe for. In my entire collection, I can't think of a dupe for this color. Or really anything, even with a similar finish. Maybe it's just a pink polish to some people, but I'm really excited about this one. So that is 2 coats of Pink and Poppy. And the last polish is called Glitter-iffic, and this is just a holographic silver micro glitter in a clear base. Now I initially swatched this as a topper, which I'll show you that photo, but I decided that it was really, really dense on its own and probably more suited to be worn alone than as a topper. Obviously you can use it as a topper, but it is a very dense glitter. It's not thick at all, which is nice for how dense it is. But to be fair, glitters do tend to thicken really fast once you start using them. So this one does start to build up pretty well on that second coat. If you are like a no, I don't want to do 3 coats person, I think you'd easily get away with 2 coats here. But just because I want to get it fully opaque, I am going to add a third. And this is going to dry textured. It is a lot of glitter. It's all glitter. And it is going to be difficult to remove because that glitter is going to stick to the nail. So this one covers pretty well on 3 coats. If I look at it, I really can't see any gaps in the glitter where my natural nail shows through. You will definitely want top coat for this, and you will want a thick top coat, or maybe more than 1 coat of top coat, because the glitter is going to suck the top coat up, and you might not lose that texture completely with just 1 coat or with a thinner top coat. So that is 3 coats of Glitter-iffic. So you know Pink and Poppy is going to be my favorite. I couldn't shut up about this polish when I was actually filming the swatches. This didn't look that special to me in the bottle, and then once I got it on my nails, I was just so impressed because it's not often that I see something that is not familiar to me because of all the polishes that I swatch and review. So seeing something that I couldn't think of any dupes for and couldn't think of anything, even in another color, I couldn't think of anything that was comparable to this finish, just made me really happy. So I really like Pink and Poppy. It's not often that I say like, oh, if you're gonna get one, get this one. If you're gonna get one, get Pink and Poppy. If you like pink, I guess. Do what you want. So that is the China Glaze Trolls World Tour collection for spring, I believe, 2020. Again, I found those on 88beauty.com. I'll put that link down below. I don't usually link that website. I always talk about that website and I never link it. And then I realized today that it's like an 8 and then a T and then a Y and then another 8. And like, how is anyone supposed to know that when I'm just saying it out loud and not linking it? So I will link 88beauty down below. Warning, the website looks kind of sketchy. It's like an old like Yahoo shopping kind of format, but I've never had any problems with them. The only thing that I don't like about that website is that they do charge you your shipping like after. Your shipping charge isn't actually like added into your cart, which has always like bothered me a little bit. So I will link that website down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye. I brought Snurp out because I don't think you guys have ever met Snurp. She might not even look at the camera. She is my high anxiety, abandoned by my neighbors, feral I tamed in my backyard and eventually moved into my house, and she's still not 100% calm inside kitty, but we're getting there. She's very sensitive. She takes a lot of one-on-one. She's got creepy feet, and they are like full-blown dug into my arm right now. But you guys don't get to see kitties very often, even though they're usually always running around. But you guys have not met Snurp, so I thought I would bring Snurpy in here. And I'm really surprised that she's not afraid of all the lights and the camera and everything, because girlfriend is afraid of everything.